another thing to mention as well, just before we get into this, is I used to play like a sort of computer, like online type game that had like its own economy, like RuneScape, if anyone's heard of it, when I was younger. And I actually think that taught me more about like life and business than like a majority of my like later years at school. It was basically like, just to put it very quickly, a game where like you had your own account and you would get money, and it had like its own functioning economy within the game. So you could like buy and sell things, make money off them, go and do things to make money. And I actually had a business in that game. It was a gambling company of all things. That's one of the only types of businesses you could make. And ended up becoming like very successful in that game. And I ended up selling a load of like the like gold within the game, right, for I think about $2,000 or $3,000, because people were willing to pay real money for like pixels in this game, which was quite interesting. So that's, and like I had like a bit of money, but most of that had sort of gone on drugs. And then when I was 17, like I said, I stopped doing any drugs, and it took me about 6 months. And my father had a like furniture company, and I went to go and work for him, like not in marketing or anything like that, just working, like helping putting this furniture together and like fitting. It was like luxury furniture, like the company did like Gordon Ramsay's kitchen. It was very like high end kitchens, like wardrobes and things like that. So just helping like putting all these together. And the real benefit that I learned from that is having like structure in my life. Before, I had absolutely no purpose in my life whatsoever, nothing to get up for. I was going like up and down with depression. I was on antidepressants at the time actually as well. Like there's so much stuff that went on during this period that I just keep remembering things that sort of pop up. So, and then I really learned like how good it was to have like some structure in your life, purpose, something to get up for every day, rather than just like mindlessly not having any like goals or anything in your life. So that was a real turning point for me when I was like 18, and I actually had like some of my own money to go and buy things that I wanted and go and do things. And so I had a nice sense of freedom there. And then like my father and I, we were just arguing like a lot, because I think when you're like working closely together with family, it can be like quite difficult. So I then went to go and like work in like a factory for as part of his business, but I wasn't working like directly for him. I was working in the factory producing the furniture. I was taking on as like a referral there. And again, this is going to just come as a surprise to everyone, because everyone just knows me for like marketing automations and things like that. But I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get into this factory, starting work at 6 a.m. And just spending all day as just like tea boy is what we would say in the UK, just like a sort of helping hand for everyone, like going out making teas for people, like cleaning up, like help if someone needed like help carrying like heavy like things around the factory and so on. Like it would be my job. I was just like the like handyman, I guess. I guess would be another word for it, like laborer we would say. Just my job's to do all of the jobs that no one else wants to do, basically. But again, like these are all like parts of the journey that made me into like who I am now. Like by doing like the shit jobs, I knew what it was like to have a bad job, like, and waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and like working really hard, like for no money at all. I was earning like £1,000 a month, I think, and like about a third of that was going on my like travel expenses back and forward to the job. So I wasn't earning like serious money, and I was working so hard for it. But that taught me like a really good work ethic. So I'm so thankful that I actually did that. Like one of my friends out here in Georgia, like who again, yeah, makes very good money as an affiliate marketer. He went and like basically volunteered in a cafe for like a week, and he said it just brought back just so much stuff about work ethic and working hard, and how thankful he is for the situation that he's in. So I'm really thankful for going through like these like difficult jobs and even like difficult times prior to that I mentioned, because it builds character. And like, as the saying goes, like smooth seas never made skilled sailors. So I picked up various different attributes in all these like different jobs. And so I worked there for about 7 or 8 months, and And by that time, I think I was like 18, and and then I had like a serious relationship for like about a year actually, and I just sort of focused on that. And towards the end of that relationship, I got a job in recruitment. So recruitment, I think, is a amazing industry to go into for anyone who doesn't know what they want to do. There's opportunity to make very good money from commission and sales. The environment was like great fun to work in, like the people working there were great, but also you just pick up like a ton of different skills. It's sales, communication, marketing, like management and organization. You pick up a lot of people skills because you're managing people, getting to interviews and doing all of this stuff. And like at the time, I was like really, really shy when I went there as well. And I was now getting into like a sales job where I had to like cold call people. And I remember when I first went into this job, it was like a room of like guys, like very testosterone fueled environment. And I was 19. I think I've recently turned 19, and I had to do like my first like telephone call, trying to like pitch to someone. I had never done any sales before either. And I like had the phone, and I was like talking and like trying to be really quiet so no one else could listen to what I was saying, because I was just so shy. But they were a great bunch of guys. I learned so much there, and there was like my boss at the time, Steve, who was like he was like a 50-year-old very, very successful guy, who was like the manager at his company. Very like ruthless guy, but really, really good salesman, like brilliant salesman, probably the best I've ever seen. But he had like really he'd been doing it for like 25 years, and he was very like sort of set in the ways and somewhat open to innovation, but not really. It took a lot of pushing to open him up to things. And after I'd been working there for like a year, I was doing pretty well. Like I wasn't far from the most successful person there, but I was definitely like a very good employee there. I think I won employee of the month in my first year, like two times or three times even, in the company. And so like I worked very hard again, because I had also worked in like a factory job before, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was now working in an office. I thought this was like really easy. And I was happy working hard there because I'd been in a worse job before, so I really wanted to keep this job. And I was earning not great money again, but just better money in this recruitment job.